When your pool techs log in, they'll see their route sheet for that day. On that route sheet will be all the addresses of the pools and spas that need to be serviced. Not just the ones that have been scheduled for regular pool cleaning, but also any repair jobs or pool openings or pool closings that you've scheduled for them for that day. Now to start, all the pool tech has to do is click the address and it opens up. And the first thing you'll see is the customer and then pool address, and then any notes that the tech left for himself the last time he visited the pool, and the readings from the last 2 visits to that pool. And below that is the gate access information. Now underneath all of that are the options that describe the actions that the pool tech can actually take. They're in 2 columns. The ones on the right are more optional, and the ones on the left are required ones, all except for log parts, because you don't always use parts when you're at an address, so that's optional. I'm going to start with the optional ones over on the right. So let's begin by looking at the view on map. When you click that option, the system goes out there and actually locates the address on a map, and it's zoomable, so you can move the slider bar to get a tighter or a wider view of the area. Notice that it opened it in a different window, so to get back to the menu, all you do is close that window. The second option down is the photos option, and that allows the pool tech to take photos and upload them. To do that, he clicks the option, and then the next thing he will do is click the choose file button. Now I can't demonstrate that because I'm working on a desktop computer, but if I were using a smartphone or tablet, once I click the choose file button, it would open up the camera area, which then I select my camera, I take the picture, and then I click the upload button and the photo gets uploaded. That's as simple as it is. Now going back to the menu, the next option down is the service request. Now let's say the pool tech sells a part to the customer, but he's not experienced enough to install that part. So he would then create a service request. Let's say enters a pump, gives the quantity and type of job he was actually doing at the time. Now once he fills this out, then it'll show up on the control panel in the office, and they can then schedule that job for a pool tech with the experience to install that pump. Okay, going back to our menu, the next option is customer equipment. And what this does is it allows the pool tech to document the equipment that he finds at the customer's site. So to begin with, you get the customer information at the top, then you select the kind of equipment it is. Let's say it's a pump. It'll ask you for the horsepower, the voltage, the features that it has, number of speeds, and so on. If it were, let's say, a heater, it'll ask you for the BTUs and the kilowatts and so on. So he fills that information out. Now below there's some maintenance information. The date the part was first used, in other words, the date it was put in service, the next service date. So you're now documenting the maintenance for this particular part, and then you select the frequency at which the service is to occur. You could set up all the way up to 5 years, but the system will keep track of that date, and then when the maintenance date comes around, the system will send the customer a note even years later telling them that that part needs to be serviced, and it will then also put a repair job in your control panel so that you can see that you have to contact the customer and arrange when you can install a new part or repair that particular part. So this option allows you not only to document the parts that the customer's pool has, but also to schedule maintenance. The last option on the right hand side is the send on the way message. That allows the pool tech to send a message to the customer telling them that they're on the way. And that's a simple click. There's nothing to enter. The system admin would set up the message that's going to be sent to the customer. So now to the options on the left side. To actually service the pool, the pool tech simply clicks the start button and it logs the time. The next thing we're going to do is enter some chemicals. So I click the log chemicals button, and you'll notice it'll give me the readings of the last 2 visits and any chemicals that I used the last time I was at that pool. So let's say we're going to add some chlorine. So I'm going to take my chlorine levels, and let's say it's 2. I'm going to add some granular chlorine, for example. I'm going to add a pound just for, and now I submit that, and you'll notice that the chlorine button is now highlighted, showing me that I've already done that. So I would do each test that I'm going to take and any chemicals that I'm going to add the same way, and then when I'm done I click the submit button, and now you can see there's an icon next to log chemicals telling me that I've done that task already. So now I'm going to log the actual task that I'm doing as I'm cleaning that pool, and again you simply click the check boxes of the ones that you've done, and if you need to add a note for the, leave a note for the customer, those notes will be set up by the system admin. You simply select one from the list. The same goes for any alerts. You could select one from the list, and if you need to add some notes for yourself for the next visit, you can type them in. Other than that, you're done. You click submit, and there it is. We don't need to log any parts this time, so we simply click the finish button. When you click the finish button, that address drops off the list, and now you're left with just the one address. Okay, and that's all it takes to service a pool.